Please join me as I pray. As always, Father, we're thankful for the blessings of this day and even more so for the sunshine that you've given us and no rain. And Father, your word tells us in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 18, that in all things we're to give thanks because it's your perfect will. And I think about this last week of rain and all the rain you've given us. Lord, your word tells us we're to thank you for that, but it created hardships for so many people. And sometimes we don't understand your perfect will. Maybe someday we will, but we just pray that through it all, that all of your word is used for some type of instruction and for edification. So we just pray that we'll learn from that experience. We'll learn where our trouble spots are, and we'll learn how to improve our drainage for the whole county to help protect our citizens. We trust you today as these commissioners conduct the business of this county. Give them the wisdom and knowledge to make good decisions that keep us safe. And we just trust in your word and trust in your will today. It's in your name we pray.
Yes, check, check. Check, check. In years?
For Tom and Linda Moran.
We live at 2353 Murphy Road out in the county, about 3 miles north of Aransas Pass. And we're here to issue this complaint and make a declaration here about our situation. We have a neighbor, which is next door to us, that we tried to work with, that tried to cooperate with on an issue of her raising her land. She's gone out, as far as we know, without any permits and raised her land anywhere from 5 to 15 inches, brought in something like between 100 and 200 loads of dirt. All of this done as all the weather has gone south the last couple of years. And now consequently, we have our land flooded between 7 and 14 inches deep. And I've got film to show it and prove it. Gone out there and walked the land, and we want some relief on this. We feel like that it's unfair for somebody to misdirect the flow of water on their land. If you look at the Texas legal statutes, it says clearly that no one can divert the natural flow of water down a hill so that it impairs another person. So we're here to publicly complain about this, and we seek relief from the county. Now, if the county can come in and put a drainage ditch along the property line between Pam Meyer and us, hey, that's just fine. But we need to get something done, and we're prepared to go to court with her if we need to protect our interests.
So I have spoken with Jack Cheney, and he has been on the property. I guess it was last week, and I've spoken with David Reed, and he hopes to be on the property sometime this week. And we understand everyone has problems right now because of that. But we have rotten vegetation over a large area of the property because it stays underwater for not weeks, months. We had it about 4 inches deep in the shop this time with the excessive amount of rainfall. And I've been pumping solid for 2.5 days and can't even tell it, barely made it in. There's just water everywhere. It probably, we're estimating that it covers 3 acres of our 5 acre property. So it's just all pooling because the natural flow has been filled. So
Also,
it can't go anywhere.
and my shop has got hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of tools in it, which I cannot access. And many of the tools, I'd say anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 worth of tools have been ruined by this latest event.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Colin,
Morning. I have a similar condition. I live on Sawyer Lane, which is just a couple of roads over from where they are. I have, my property, I've been out there for 38 and a half years. And for 38 and a half years, I've dealt with it. But recently, the ditch on Sawyer Lane on the north side was dug to the grade due to the boat barn up at the bypass in Sawyer Lane, because, that's my understanding. And it goes all the way to 1069. It flows. Well, I drove down Sawyer Lane this morning. There's not a yard one that has water standing in it except mine and my immediate neighbors. And the thing is I have hundreds of thousands of gallons of water because I have low spots. And that water affects the water table. If I can get a culvert across the road to the north side of Sawyer Lane, then all that can drain, that lowers the water table. That drives me out. That drives my neighbors out. I got one neighbor right now. He's new and his driveway is green. He can't even get in and out of his drive without a four-wheel drive. And that's because the water table is so high, and that's the thing I want to talk about. The water literally runs down my driveway. When my pond and everything fills up, it literally runs down my driveway, runs through my yard. It's got all these low spots. It fills them up. They overflow, fills these other low spots up. And if that water had someplace to go, it would lower the water table. And I wouldn't have, that's, I don't know how else to explain it. I could pump it, and I've got a pump that'll pump 10,000 gallons an hour, but it's not a bowl that you're trying to empty. It's a water table. And as you pump the water out, water comes up from the ground because the water table is going to seek its own level. So as much time as I spend pumping it, I'm just spinning my wheels. And, but a culvert, like I said today, the ditches on the north side, not even flowing. Ditches on the south side, none of them are great. My culvert, the top of my culvert is lower than the top of my ditch. And there's a number of culverts on the north-south side of Sawyer Lane that are that same exact way. There's no drainage. With all the rain that we had the other day, yeah, I actually had some flowing from my ditch to my neighbors and everything, but it had to get way, way, way high before it started flowing. But the only thing I want to address, after 38 and a half years and there's relief, it's a one-day job. You get a backhoe and a man operator out there and a crew, one day they can have that ditch, that culvert dug and laid. And that's what I want. That's it. I don't know what else to say. I will not dry out like them. I'm not going to dry out for a month at least. And that's if we get no more rain. If we get more rain, then that's just that much more that I have to deal with. My neighbors next door's got two young kids. They can't even go outside and play because there's so much water in the yard. But lower the water table, guess what? That disappears. So I don't know. That's about all I know what to say.
this is Commissioner Cheney. Can y'all hear me? Hello?
Commissioner, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to say that I've been here since the beginning of the meeting, and I'd like to be counted present by way of Zoom.
You were. Can you
I
hear
was
me?
Yes, can
We
you hear me
counted, I counted you
now?
present.
Yeah, okay, good deal.
Okay, now your vote for the consent items. Is that, do you approve? Vote to approve?
Yes. Gracious.
This is not.
I'm new at this. You have to excuse me.
No, we were only using Martha Luigi to pick juries, and we don't need that much space for our civil suit because it's going to be a bench trial, which means it's going to be heard before the judge, and we do not need a jury.
Commissioner Cheney,
Yes.
Commissioner Casterline, Commissioner Russo, Commissioner Laubach, Judge Mills.
I cannot hear the court.
And 13R, Bel Air Section, Holiday Beach Subdivision.
Motion made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Laubach.
Cat, gonna elaborate on.
Kat, can you elaborate on that?
If Kat's not on, I can tell you what her
right.
background memo says. It's one of those situations where there's currently 3 undersized lots grandfathered, and they want to combine them into 2 slightly larger but still undersized lots.
All right, no further
We've done
discussion.
that before.
Yeah, we often
We-
approve these.
No
Yes.
further discussion. Do I have roll call?
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Item number 6.
I move to approve amended resolution R09-2021 authorizing the award of an environmental service contract to Bays Engineering Incorporated, the amount of $2,200 for the purpose of
For the
for the
proposed,
medical facility site located at 400 Enterprise Drive from the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery CDBG DR Project 20065098 C270 and authorize the county judge to execute all necessary documents.
second,
Second that.
Motion made and second,
I'll second
Commissioner
it.
Cheney. Any further discussion?
I did ask Kim about this because we had approved this before. And she said that we were coming back to review it and approve an amended resolution because there were funds available, but they had not been allocated for the environmental services in the original budget.
Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Item number 7.
Judge, before we move on, I feel like I have to tell you that the resolution that you just approved was brought back partially because the wording of the resolution needed to be amended and to be brought before you again. I just want to make sure that you knew why you were voting again, and that's the
I
real,
knew, but
Okay, thank you.
All right, item number 7.
I move to approve resolution R 11/2021.
This is-
We just
that's
did
what
that one.
we said, the next one.
Move to approve the city of Rockport flood and drainage improvements projects for needed flood and drainage improvements.
We're on
No,
number
wait,
seven.
wait.
Number 7.
Color. Just jumping all around. Move to approve authorizing county judge to sign environmental services contract with Phase Engineering Contractor to perform services set out in Part 2 scope of the services at a cost of not to exceed $2,200.
I second that.
Motion made and second, Commissioner Russo. Any discussion?
Is this just a follow-up from number 6, like we did last time?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we just have to do it. Okay, thank you.
So we're not only approving the award of the grant, but also signatory authority and signing the contract in 3
Okay.
separate steps.
Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye. Unanimous. Item number 8.
I move to approve resolution R 11/2021, designating authorized signatories for contractual documents and documents for requesting funds pertaining to the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Program, contract number 20-065-098 C270.
I second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Item number 8.
That was 8, and when we're skipping 9 and 10.
We're on
Yeah, we're
11.
going to 11 now.
I move to approve the cooperative agreement between Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Services and Aransas County for the purpose of establishing a partnership designed to develop and conduct educational programs in all phases of agriculture, family and consumer sciences, 4-H, and youth and economic development for the benefit of Aransas County citizens.
Second.
I'll second
And I
that.
visited with
Motion made and seconded, Commissioner Casterline first.
I visited with Ginger Smith, our, one of our Ag Life Extension agents, and she said this is something we do every 3 years.
All right, any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Item number 12.
I move to approve entering into an interlocal agreement between Aransas County, Texas and Nueces County, Texas for jail services to enable Aransas County Detention Center to be used to house Nueces County inmates when available space and circumstances allow.
I second.
Motion made and seconded, Commissioner Laubach.
I have a question.
Question.
Sheriff Mills, has this agreement been in place before, or is this a first-time proposal for us to work with Nueces County?
It'll be the first proposal that we've had with Nueces County. We've sent other inmates to Matagorda and Calhoun County in the past years ago, but this will be the first interlocal we've had with Nueces County, and it's because of their current predicament with crowding. They're at 110% of capacity, and they're looking for some quick relief. We have the ability to hold maybe 15 or 20 prisoners a day if that's their desire, and so we had to set up an agreement. Went back and forth. They have the latest.
It was a previous revision, but it's very, very similar.
Like I say,
from our-
we had some revisions back and forth, but it mostly was structured in a paragraph, and they added their medical director's
Yes.
signature on the last page. If you have that on yours, then you've got the latest edition.
Do we have a similarly worded contract with the feds? I mean, in other words, is our previous contract also space available? In other words, our prisoners come first?
Yes, ma'am, we do, with the city of Rockport as well. The Fed contract is a whole lot more extensive. They have restrictions built into theirs where we keep prisoners out of sight and sound from state prisoners. This contract does not call for that. We're allowed to house them in cells that we have available at our discretion.
The questions I got about this contract were from people worried that we run out of space and can't take prisoners. Is that an unfounded concern? I've not heard it
Unfounded
before.
concern. That's from people that didn't have the whole equation. If I ask you what was 400 divided by 2 times, what's the answer? you're going to say, I don't have the whole problem.
Yeah.
And I think when it's worded such that we house only the prisoners that we have room for, when we reach capacity, that will be stopped as well.
I want to add that sorry, this is not the final version.
Right.
Final version does have a little bit of language that's not in this one, but it only is language that's required by state law anyway, talking about how neither of the counties will be waiving any immunities that they may have under the Tort Claims Act. Other than that, it's virtually identical.
Thank you, Jen.
Any
I
fur-
was concerned about the medical services, but it does explain that basically Nueces County will be responsible for anything that's an extraordinary.
Correct.
Expense.
And that's the same that we have in the other two
Okay.
MOUs that we hold.
We've
Any further
we've been partnering with other counties for quite some time now, and it's always been pretty successful. I think it's really helped all the other counties out and helped us as well.
Any further discussion? If not, roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Item number 12. Oh, no.
13.
13.
I move to approve the June 2021 indigent healthcare report.
Motion made and second, Commissioner Castelline. Any discussion? If not, roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Item number 14.
Move to approve authorizing county judge to sign the optional healthcare services notification for Aransas County indigent healthcare optional service allowed for the fiscal year September 1st, 2021 through August 31st, 2022.
I second that.
Motion made and second, Commissioner Russo.
I
For
have
those,
a
oh, sorry, go ahead.
question. Alma, the optional services, which were on the back page of the amount spent for the past month, I just was curious. We transport inmates out of the county to receive services if we don't have providers within the county?
Ask the question again. I didn't-
If the inmates need services that are on this optional list and we have no providers within our county of those services, do we transport them out of the county?
Right, the sheriff
Yes.
and those transporting to whatever provider that
Okay.
they may need. This form here is, option, we have an option to pick the type of services. So we haven't changed anything for many years of what we are able to provide. But once a year, I have to give this form to the state to let them know what options we are choosing.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Item 16,
15.
15. Right, one of these.
I move to approve Resolution R 10/2021, authorizing bank signature authority and electronic banking services for Prosperity Bank, adding Patricia Randall, Chief Deputy Treasurer, to the signature charge cards at Prosperity Bank for all bank accounts authorized under the county treasurer.
I'll
I
second
second
that.
that.
Second, Commissioner Cheney. All those, any discussion? Roll call.
How long have we,
Commissioner
how long
Cheney.
have we- yeah, how long have we been with Prosperity now?
We're in our second contract with them, so it's been almost 8 years.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. 16,
I move to approve adopting statutory authorized fee increases for the county clerk's office.
I second that.
motion made and seconded, Commissioner Russo. Any discussion? Not roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Item 17,
Move to approve the accounts payable and payroll liabilities.
motion.
Any unusual ones this?
Second, Commissioner.
17.
Item 17.
Are you providing a second?
I'll provide a second, but I don't think it was stated properly. Item 17,
Item 17.
Do we
The
not,
description
Oh,
doesn't match
I
what
missed it.
item 17 is.
Yeah,
Oh.
disapprove updated job description. Somebody want to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
oh, yeah, okay.
I'll
Read
make the
it.
motion as written.
You make the motion to update job description for administrator, assistant.
As written, yes.
All right, motion made.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Castleline. Any discussion?
Can we just have a brief description what we're doing, what changes?
Oh, this is the one.
Yes, we're gonna still do 17 and 18. I'm gonna move 19 to next meeting. Okay. So brief description. So in our office, including myself, there are 12 employees. At the beginning of the year, there were 2 that were considered administrative assistants. One job description was administrative assistant and CGIS reporter, which is the title of this job description. And the other administrative assistant was administrative assistant / victim assistance coordinator. And the person who was filling that position, her last day at work was last week. So what I'm moving to do is to align both of our administrative assistant positions to have this same job description. And the young lady who is our current receptionist will move into the open position, and we will not have a receptionist for right now. And that's why we're asking to have that one put on hold. And at a later date, I will discuss with the County Commissioners Court about a victim assistance coordinator and what that does, but that will no longer be performed by an administrative assistant. Does that help?
So you're not going to fill the receptionist position at this time,
Correct.
but you're asking for it to remain in your budget.
No, because we're not going to be paying anyone for that position until we are able, perhaps several years in the future, have space for another employee.
Okay,
So we don't
so
have physical space for 13 employees.
the auditor's office will remove that position for the 2022 budget from their
Yes.
salary line.
After I'm able to fill out the paperwork to move our receptionist into this job description.
So the receptionist is doing what the departing victims assistants, administrative assistant used to do?
No, she will be doing administrative assistant duties, and one of those duties, which the very first duty on the list, if you read the job description, is also answering the phone. It was, in my opinion, very helpful to have someone dedicated to being at the front desk and answering the phones. But at this point, obviously, we can't have another employee because if you've been to our office, there's nowhere to put another person. So we'll still have the same number of employees and the same desks. She will just be taking on more duties and as such should be getting paid more since she's doing a lot more than answering the phones and greeting people at the front desk.
Okay, so she's still going to operate sort of like a receptionist, but she's also taking on some victim assistance duties or other
She's taking
administrative.
on administrative assistant duties. So she's putting things into CGIS, she's closing cases, she's making copies of discovery,
Okay.
things like that.
Not limited to victim assistance, just general admin.
Actually, not victim assistance.
Yes.
Not that at
victim
all. Okay,
assistance
got
at
it.
all.
Okay,
Any further discussion? All right, roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye, unanimous. Item 18.
18 was left off by me. I apologize. Refer to the agenda.
Okay, so I move to create a second position for the administrative assistant / criminal justice information system, otherwise known as CGIS reporter at a group step 12-1 and freezing the receptionist position at a group step 9.2.
Motion made. Have a second.
Second.
Mr. Castleline.
All right, I think this is the one, because you were talking about the two positions together.
Right, so
So this is the one where that receptionist position will not exactly be frozen. It will be removed from your budget.
right.
So should we amend this motion? I think we should amend the motion.
To include removing from the budget?
Yes, the receptionist position.
Can we do that? Is that okay, Jen?
To,
I mean-
you could make your motion to freeze the receptionist position at a group 9, step 9.2 and remove from the 2022 budget.
2021.
Pardon me, 2021.
Right, we haven't approved the 2022 budget yet. So it will also come off of that budget as we move forward. I know the last time I was here talking about budgets, I didn't anticipate any changes, but then the next day, someone put in their 2 weeks notice, so things changed.
How much about roughly how much are we removing from the budget?
Well, we won't really be removing anything from the budget because when I come back, I'll have a new position to present to you.
So this is all
Because-
pretty much going to be budget neutral when all the dust settles?
These current positions are budget neutral because the person who was filling this position as the administrative assistant was already in 11.5, which is the same as a 12.3, and I'm only filling it with a 12.1. I know this is complicated for people who don't look at our pay scales.
Yes.
So this move, moving her into that position doesn't affect the budget at all.
I think the first position where you updated it and you moved them from an 11.5 to a 12.3, that's budget neutral.
That is.
But this one, for someone to go from a 12.1 and freeze or eliminate the 9.2, that is not budget neutral.
So the issue is that we still have a completely open position.
Right.
So I'm not asking for any money today. I can't promise you I won't ask you for any money ever, but when we're moving these positions around, we still have one open position.
But a 9.2 annual salary is 27,585. And a 12.1 position annual is 31,188.
May I add something to that?
Yes. I think they did the calculations for
we-
once we're full, so.
We did some, actually Tana did some. The changing of this position that we're discussing is going to be about $2,000 for the rest of this budget. But with the attrition of the other, not adding the other employer, bringing another employee in, that will take care of any changes.
Right.
So there will be no effect to the 2021 budget.
So it's budget neutral.
Yes.
Because at the bare minimum, we will have an opening for at least the next 2 weeks because I don't have an opening to post yet.
Thank you, Jackie.
Any further discussion? If not,
Okay, so I had Commissioner Laubach with the motion. Would you like to amend the motion to remove the position, to freeze the receptionist position at Group Step 9.2, but remove it from the 2021 budget?
Yes.
Is that appropriate? Because that's not part of the agenda item, the removal.
That's why we're.
That's why we.
Well, that's why I asked Jen. I just wanted to make sure that the agenda item was broad enough in her view to cover this sort of inherent step. Does that suit you? We don't need to reschedule, for instance, just to pick this part up.
As we're sitting here, I'm not really concerned so much about the language as I am about the realistic impact that the amendment might make, because that employee has not yet been moved into the new position. So I would ask that you freeze it, and that after she's moved, that then we remove it from this current budget.
So at the next meeting, we can remove it from the budget since no one will be in that position anymore.
But she's technically still in it, so that would be my recommendation.
Then,
I would like to add something to that.
wait, Jackie is needing to tell us something.
In all honesty, in our position, I would leave it in the budget. It doesn't have to be spent. But that is part of the attrition that we're looking at with the changing of these, of the job description. So I don't see the need to have to actually take it out of the budget. That would require an amendment to our budget. And I don't see that we would need to do it. I mean, we can later on, when we do amendments, if it's necessary, we can do it.
Something we might do for the 2022, for instance, and rather
Yes,
than
ma'am.
amending
I would say we
2021.
would look at it in the 2022, but I would not recommend taking it out of the 2021 budget.
Well, I would agree with that. I think that makes good sense.
all right.
In that case, if
Okay, so we're going to leave it as it
I'm going
as it
to-
was initially.
I'm withdrawing my amendment, I think is how we do this.
You're withdrawing your,
Just go back to the
Amendment.
original, just going back.
And I'm going back to the-
original motion.
okay. very
Exactly.
good.
I'll second that.
I already have a second on that from Commissioner Casterline.
Roll call.
Commissioner
call.
Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye. Unanimous.
Okay, thank you.
Item 20.
That's the general discussion. If elected
Yeah.
officials are here to,
General discussion proposed 2022.
Did we do
budget
19?
officials.
That was,
Jackie, do you have
Tabled.
anything to bring up?
Wait. No, sir. I just wanted to remind everyone that we are scheduled for workshops on August 2nd and 3rd. In July, we were able to handle everything in one meeting, so possibly we might do that again, depends on what court wants, but I think that we probably will be able to do that. We will have a better handle on salary stuff and have our tax rate that we would be able to use to prepare the documents and work from there. If y'all have anything that you want to bring to us, then please, by all means, let us know.
Any commissioners have anything they want to bring up?
Do you want anything that we would like to bring to you before August 2nd, or you want it at the August 2nd workshop?
I think it would be better if we had it prior.
beforehand? Okay,
And I'll do like I did this last one. We'll have a sheet of all the changes
Good.
and all the things that are different.
that was very helpful. Thank you.
Playground equipment.
Okay,
So, that's all I have to really bring up today. We don't have any changes.
all right. If nothing else, we go to item 21.
I move to approve the budget line item transfers and amendments.
We have,
Motion made and seconded.
we have none at this time.
Roll call.
who did I get the second from?
Commissioner
Castellane.
Thank you. Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye. Item 22.
Move to approve accounts payable and payroll and payroll liability.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Commissioner Cheney. Any discussion?
Yes, I do have some that I needed to walk in. There are none that are unusual in what the report that you got, but we received a draw from GrantWorks on one of our projects, and we would like to get those added to it. It's GrantWorks for $16,545.30 and one for Cobb Finley for $148,803.60. That would be the final for Cobb Finley. That's the company that did our feasibility study for the fiber optics.
Jackie, could you say the amount for Cobb Finley again?
$148,803.60.
Thank you.
Due to the quick turnaround from GLO, we needed to get these approved. They will not be mailed out until we get the funds from GLO, but to ensure that we have the invoices, the checks ready to send, I needed to bring those to y'all.
Any further discussion? Not roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Laubach,
Aye.
Judge Mills.
Aye. This time, it's time for the elected officials or department heads to bring up anything that they'd like to bring up to the public.
I would like to, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
I just want to read this into the record that the county received 3 responses to the medical facility RFP. 2 of the 3 met the submittal requirements and the 3rd was deemed unresponsive. The RFPs under consideration are for an ambulatory surgical center and a healthcare center respectively. The selection committee for the medical facilities RFP has met twice since receiving these qualified bid responses. The first meeting on June 17th was a preliminary review in which committee members' feedback and observations were shared. The committee performed initial scoring at that time and elected to invite both proposers to proceed to the next stage, which is the interview. A list of questions was prepared for the proposers and sent to them with a request for responses at their earliest convenience. A second meeting was held on Wednesday, June 30th, with the committee members and County Treasurer Alma Cartwright. Ms. Cartwright provided important information about permissible uses of the county's healthcare sales tax as opposed to the county's indigent healthcare fund. She provided great information of a very technical subject. Proposers' responses to the committee's questions have been received and distributed to committee members by email late last week. The selection committee is scheduled to meet again on Wednesday, July 14th, to discuss the responses, interview the qualified proposers separately, and give final scores on the RFPs. Following the interviews and the scoring, it's planned a recommendation for selection will be made to the Commissioners Court, hopefully at the July 26th meeting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any further announcements?
I just want to take a moment and thank the Road and Bridge crew and the drainage crew for responding as quickly as they did to the 22 inches of rain or whatever it was that we got. I was muted during the first presentation, but the folks out in my precinct, especially the ones middle between 1069 and 35 bypass, they do have a situation out there, but I think that we are addressing that with our new drainage study. And if we can, sometime in the next month or so, I would like to have a public meeting or a workshop to talk about the drainage study and how it's affecting everybody.
Okay.
Anyway, that's all I had. And thanks, David. You did a good job.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. Any other one? If not, we will be going into closed session. So at this time, we will, yes, sir.
Question on Sawyer Lane. I'd like to say, Mr. Cheney, I called him and within about an hour, about a month ago, he was out there one time. I really appreciate that. David Reed is also out with the place. I don't know what their thoughts are on it, but I still feel that I have an ideal spot for a crossover culvert right there on Sawyer Lane. That will really ease the situation for me and my neighbors on both sides.
Okay, thank you, sir. If y'all want to speak now, you're going to have to come up to the mic.
Yeah, the people at home, we can hear you, but the people at home can't. So if you need, we need you to speak at the microphone.
Go ahead.
Just that one right up there.
Yeah, Linda and Tom Duran would also like to thank Commissioner Cheney for coming out within about 30 minutes of us making a phone call to him also. And again, like this gentleman right here on Sawyer Lane, you know, we would much like the situation to be taken care of in a more civil manner than having to go the lawsuit route.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. If nothing else, we will go into closed session.
You're on the jury.
All right, we went into closed session 9:45 and we're coming back in open session 10:02.
I move to adjourn.
Motion made, second. Commissioner Russo. All those in favor? Oh,
Aye.
Aye.
To adjourn.
Yeah.
You're talking about.
We're done.
Doesn't matter. We're done. Absolutely. Adjournment.
All right.
And that was,
Court adjourned was not.
motion was made.
I did the motion. Who?
And then,
I seconded.
Anybody
We never hear you, Mike. I mean, Jack. So.
Yeah. Okay. Thank y'all.
Challenge it.